I bet you were able to come up with a name, weren't you? Dr. Sleep was a movie I was definitely happy to see in the theater. It's the first movie that I've seen in the theater for months in which I did not hear anybody else talking. The theater was at least half full, and I didn't hear one other person talk. And I think that goes to show how good this movie is. But with any movie, it is dumb sometimes. And like I had you do in this exercise at the beginning of the movie. In the movie, the bad guys, they don't have a name for them. And I was just thinking, somebody should call them something. They just like call them whatevers. They don't really have, like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just dumb here, but I wish they would have called them like the Unshined or the Shineless, or that wouldn't make sense. But something to label these people as, because throughout the movie they're always talking about them, but they have no names. I know they're brand new. I know, you know, but they just name them. That's all I needed. One thing about this movie that confused me a lot were the shined people that were the bad ones. How they were able to get around, how they were able to kill all people for centuries apparently, how they were able to get around in such a big group and such a huge convoy and do all these things, and nobody questions them about anything. And the only clarification that we got through this whole movie was when Doc said they're rich and well connected. That was the explanation given for hundreds of years of being able to not be caught or get in trouble or anything like that. I needed a little more than that. And I know there's some things I'm supposed to just not care about, and probably this is one of them. But going around and murdering kids all over the world, I'm presuming, in such like a big convoy. They had RVs, semi-trucks, tons of cars, not tons, like 4 or 5. And no, like they never get caught, or maybe they get caught, or I don't know. But the only explanation we get is that they're rich and well connected. Speaking of rich, what about the 15-year-old girl who seduces married men to come meet her, and then she brainwashes them? This was one part of the movie that I wish could have had a little I don't like it when movies go off track, but she would take them, she would get them to meet her wherever, then she would brainwash them basically, change their brains or whatever, what do you call that, brain? She makes this one guy, she tells him, so I want you, every single time you look at the mirror in the morning, I want you to say out loud, I like little girls. How are you going to explain that one to your wife? Have fun with that. And I was like, oh my god. Oh, I would have loved to see some of those situations play out a little bit. Apparently that was the third guy that she had done it to, or third or fourth or something like that. That the Unshined knew about. So, oh, geez, I would love to see a few scenes. What? Like, really, if a husband went to the mirror in the morning and said, I like little girls, and like every morning, you know, like maybe the wife might think that's kind of weird, but after every day for a week or a month, what would that story play out like? But there are two main things I would like to say that are dumb about this movie sometimes. There's this ambush scene where there's the big gunfight, and all of the Unshined have regular old pistols. The two heroes of the movie, I guess you'd call it, well, two main male heroes, Doc and Billy, they have their rifles, they have deer rifles, and they're just shooting. The way the scene was edited and shot, you could not tell how far away they were from each other, which I didn't like. They should have shown how far away they were from each other, because the people with the pistols, if they were 200 meters away or 300 meters away, people with the pistols should just not even been shooting. They should have just got out of there, but they didn't. Of course, the rifles won in the long distance shootout, but we didn't really see how much distance there was. But my main point here is, if they are rich and well connected, why is it they have like regular old pistols? None of them had a rifle. None of them had a semi-automatic weapon. They didn't have grenades, they didn't have shotguns, they didn't have machine guns, they had nothing. They had little pistols. And especially, they're basically enhanced humans. They're not superhuman. They can't take a bullet or two. To me, they should have had more weaponry. And the other thing were the god shots in this film. I don't know if they're called god shots. I thought this movie was somehow going to be tied into religion or God or something. The very opening shot of this movie is an overhead shot of Doc in his trailer or his house or something, I believe. Was it? I don't know. But it was an overhead shot, and it goes down really slow. It was a really cool shot, but I'm not sure why they shot it like that. The only other overhead shot in the film that I can think of is when the good boy, when he gets killed and eaten by the Unshined, there was the overhead shot coming down onto them. And again, I'm thinking, is this some sort of God thing? But I don't think they went to another overhead shot for the rest of the movie, like straight up overhead anyway. And it's something I need explained to me, because maybe I'm just dumb sometimes. Otherwise, like I said, the movie theater was dead silent for this entire film, which I appreciate so much. And I think it goes to show how well done this movie was. I enjoyed it thoroughly. Great horror follow-up to The Shining, like well over 40 years later or whatever. But if you thought this movie was dumb sometimes in other ways, go ahead and leave some comments in the comments below. Like this video, share this video, and if you could give us a subscribe, it would be sweet if we could hit 10 or 20 or 30 subscribers soon if we haven't already. Go ahead and like us on Facebook at Movies Are Dumb Sometimes, or on Twitter, follow us at Movies Are Dumbass for fun memes and more. Hope you enjoyed this, and if you are tired, go get some sleep.